Hello everyone, Nordic Beast here. Today we're going to be talking about the summer landing event, specifically the first aircraft that you receive at 5 stars, which is the Finnish Myrsky II. Now this is an aircraft I have loved since I was a child, and in fact, when they announced the Swedes for the game, I thought the Myrsky was the Myrsky, and then when I saw the Myrsky, I'm like, what is this? And I get to learn about a new aircraft, one that I own and enjoy and fly quite often in the game. Now, the Myrsky itself has an interesting history. In 1939, the Finns, like many governments of the world, knew war was coming. They didn't know when or to what scale, but they knew it was coming. And Finland, being a smaller country, had difficulty building anything domestically. But they needed to because they mostly bought aircraft and weapons from other countries. Well, during wartime, there is no guarantee you will get supplies or spares. So, domestic. So in 1939, they came up with the idea of building it. 1940, they agreed to build it. 1941, the first prototype flew. The aircraft proved to be a little on the heavy side, so they reworked it. 1943, the aircraft entered service. In total, they had 51 airframes. The prototype, one prototype, 3 pre-production models called the Myrsky I, and 47 production models, the Myrsky II. Now, the aircraft was primarily made of wood, being as Finland's biggest natural resource is wood. Now, the main flaw of the aircraft, though, was the glue that held the wood together. Apparently, it didn't do too well in wet, damp environments or the cold, which is kind of Finland in a nutshell, which is a shame. Apparently, pilots really loved this aircraft. It was designed as a fighter and reconnaissance aircraft. And in the reconnaissance role, it could carry extra fuel tanks, and it could also do ground attack with 2 100-kilogram bombs, or 220 pounds for those who use metric. The aircraft is also armed with 4 50-caliber machine guns, which that in and of itself has an interesting history. The machine guns are an unlicensed copy of the Swedish 13.2 millimeter Brownings, which they themselves are modifications of the American 50 caliber M2 Browning. Now, the Swedish versions, the 13.2 millimeter, were modified for a higher cyclical rate and to carry the larger round to be able to carry high explosive ammunition. So, what I'm curious about is with this amalgamum of a gun, what ammunition is it going to carry, and will it have the same cyclical rate as the Swedish murder machines? Because their guns is what really makes those early aircraft. Don't get me wrong, I like the J-21 and the J-22, but what makes them murder machines is definitely those machine guns and their high cyclical rate. I am also curious, what actual bullet does this carry? Is it the American 50 caliber shell? Is it the Soviet 12.7 shells, which are 2 different rounds? So I'm curious to find out. And what kind of belts are they going to use? If it's an American shell, is it going to be early war? Is it going to be late war? The late war being more incendiary rounds, or if you get the late war, you have the tracer flamethrower rounds. If you put that on a rank 2 aircraft, oh my god, that would just be terrible. Now, the aircraft itself was powered by a Pratt & Whitney twin Wasp engine, which is an American engine, which they actually got from the Germans. And it's only 1,065 horsepower, so just shy of 1,100 horsepower, which for 1941, not too bad. I mean, you're right behind, Merlins and such of that era. The aircraft weighed about, and its gross weight was 6,497 pounds, with a wing area of 193 square feet. Now, the reason I mention this is that puts it in a weight category roughly around a Me-109 or a Spitfire. And the wing area is smaller than a Spitfire, but larger than an Me-109. Pilots said the aircraft was quite easy to handle. So my guess about the aircraft, if you look at it, is it has a decent size wing area. It's relatively light, and it's very aerodynamic, especially for a radial-engined fighter. And its top speed is around 330 miles an hour. Its climb rate is about 3,000 feet per minute, or 15 meters a second. So its performance is more that of an early warfighter. I would say Spitfire Mark 1. So my guess is that this will probably be a 2.7, maybe a 3.0. And the reason I say that is the very focused 450 caliber machine guns in the nose. And between that and the bombs, I think this will be a very effective fighter. I also enjoy the windscreen, the canopy on this. It looks like it's very clear, much like the Myrsky. And I, for one, can't wait to get this. Now, as far as the rest of the summer landing event goes, there's not much that really interests me. The BDM-1, or I'm sorry, the BDM-4, the top tank, kind of interests me. Now, I don't play Soviets much. I am, like I said, I like underdogs, and for quite a while, Soviets had been meta, like when I first played the game. And so I kind of sneered away from playing the Russians. I do play them now, but I'm only at 6.3, I believe. I'm working on my first 7.0. The T-44-100, which, by the way, I love the T-44. The T-44 is amazing. It's not easy to use because people can't shoot through you, but if you angle your armor right and you know where to shoot, that thing is a monster. So I realized all I was doing was really just missing out on fun. And I do like some of the Cold War Soviet tanks as well. The top stuff, but I digress. Um, so the BDM-4 looks interesting. Now, I do have access to the Squadron BMP-2M, so I could run those two together if I had gotten it. Which I don't know, I might. The last event, the winter event of last year, borderline drove me to madness. I swear, every time I needed to do something, I couldn't get it done. Like, I had to grind and grind and grind, and it just put me in a foul mood, and I gave up War Thunder for a few weeks after that. Like, I just wouldn't touch it. I was just kind of disgusted by it after the event, especially because the Battle Pass had just come out, and I was doing the Battle Pass at the same time. So, that being said, the other aircraft is the Buccaneer. And I like the Buccaneer. It's a beautiful plane. However, I'm not sure how useful it will be as it has no air-to-air missiles, from my understanding. And of course, the aircraft has no internal gun. I kind of wish Gaijin would bend reality a little bit here and at least give it some kind of self-defense missiles. Otherwise, it's not going to be particularly effective. I mean, I'm sure there'll be people out there that are effective with it. I just don't know how effective it'll be in general. The boats, I'm not overly interested in. The top one, the German one, looks pretty good, but that's about it. The Japanese amphibious tank does not really interest me much. I mean, other than, a collector's vehicle, like, oh, look, I got this thing. But I'm sure it's tinfoil. I'm sure it's going to be slow and unmaneuverable, and it's going to be garbage. So, yeah, I mean, that's literally half of what they're offering doesn't interest me much. So who knows? Maybe I will just grind this, and if I decide to, I might continue and grind to the Buccaneer and sell that off. Or I might keep it and put it with my Brits, because my Brits I'm working on my 8.3s now, so I might be able to actually use it, depending. So, well, I hope you guys found this informative. If you enjoyed, please hit the like button, and I will see you guys next time.